Good morning, class. My name is Rob, and I've chosen to do my unit of work based on a theme which we've all become a little too familiar with here lately on the Gold Coast, namely thunderstorms. I've chosen this theme because I believe that children living on the coast are able to relate to it, as they've been subjected to thunderstorms often and have undoubtedly spent some time appreciating the beautiful sounds that a good thunderstorm can create. Now, as we all know, a classroom is an environment which consists of many diverse and unique students. Therefore, I believe it is essential that lessons be engaging and cater to all the different learning styles. In my proposed unit, there will be multiple activities that will cater to the diverse needs of my students through independent study and through group work, in an attempt to bring everyone on board for a fun and exciting learning experience. So just sit back, relax, and let me take you on a trip through my unit of work.
Technology education is not reliant on the use of ICTs in the classroom, but rather on creating design challenges for the students using the design, develop, evaluate process in an attempt to trigger students' creativity using materials, information, and systems. The first process we use is the investigate phase, where in groups of 5 or 6, students will discuss their prior knowledge about thunderstorms and the sounds they create, while also discussing knowledge of musical instruments and the sounds they make. At this point, students can begin to write down designs on a piece of paper of the kind of musical instruments they believe they are going to create. There will be no limits set at this phase as to what materials might be used in the process, as this is an open challenge part of the task. This phase is simply meant for brainstorming ideas before moving on to the design phase. At this point, students should have some good ideas down on paper about which kind of instruments they want to make to create specific sounds. Now the students will be given specific materials that will force them to reflect on their original ideas and make adjustments appropriately with the given materials. This is called the closed challenge part of the task. Students will continue to work in their groups to design 2 musical instruments. The students will indicate what sounds they are attempting to create and how the instruments would convey them. At the end of this phase, the group will decide on one of the 2 designs to move forward with to the next phase. After the design phase, the students will move on to the developing phase. At this point, the group would make the selection instrument with the materials provided in an appropriate and safe fashion. After the completion of the development phase in the design challenge, students will move on to the evaluation phase, where they will evaluate their instruments by testing their performance and comparing them to the sounds that they are attempting to replicate. If the outcome is not that which is desired, students will cycle back through the DDE process and make correct adjustments. Students could also be asked to orally present their instruments to the class in a quick presentation that involves a demonstration of how the instrument works and a display of the original design drawing at the investigation phase, with a discussion of what changes were made and why.
Upon completion of the technology phase, students should now be aware of the design, develop, and evaluate process involved in technology education, and now be ready to move on to part 2 of the thunderstorm unit, where they will create a dramatic performance using the instruments that they made in the first phase. Now, similar to the technology education, arts education involves a process called the create, present, and reflect process, which is embedded in the 5 domains of art education: dance, drama, music, media, and visual arts. Arts education aims to teach students a means for creative expression based on their observations and experiences. Let's now look at which of these 5 domains we will use in our thunderstorm unit.